Hey everyone, Coach Toolshed here, and today I want to talk about games as a service and how they're continuing their march into the industry and how we see more and more games as a service business models being implemented in games today, both in multiplayer games and in single player games, and it seems to be something that we just can't get away from. And now we're at the point where all the major publishers are on board, even the ones who we didn't think were going to be on board. And so it seems like something that we just can't stop at this point. So what are we going to do about it? And coincided with that topic, I was thinking this week when we kept hearing news about how gaming addiction had started to be recognized by the World Health Organization as an official disorder, and that you could need to be treated for it. It got me thinking. It's like, well, these games as a service type games that we keep seeing more and more of, and now they're in most big games, from every publisher. So these are games that are specifically designed to make us addicted. So now that it's being recognized as a disorder, whether you want to talk about that or not, that's an entirely different issue. I'm here to talk about what these companies are actually doing to us as consumers, as players, and how we just keep letting them roll us over, basically, and sucking our wallets dry with these perpetual income models where year after year, come back. Oh, we got more skins. We got new agents to play as, or you can play as this new character. We got some new map packs, and come back. And now Season 2's here. And now Season 3 is going to be coming up soon. And check out this new stuff and keep coming back. We got some more premium skins. And some games are doing it fine. Some games are not doing it fine, and I mean, there's some easy candidates to look at on both sides of the fence when it comes to how these revenue models are actually being implemented. But at the end of the day, well, what are we doing to ourselves where we just keep letting these companies just feed us these games that are really only benefiting them? Is it really benefiting us? What are we getting out of these constantly recurring revenue cycles? Not much. But the companies sure seem to love jamming them down our throats, don't they? Can't seem to get away from it. Now, in some ways, you can't really blame them because they keep making money hand over fist from us, because we keep buying all these expansion packs, and we want the maps and the guns and the skins, and we keep giving them money. And you look at some of these games, and they've just made so much insane amounts of cash, and now it's to the point where it has to infect every single part of the business because they can't deny the revenue model. So they're taking all these big franchises, and they're just like, they keep looking at them. How can we make this online? How can we make this online? What can we do to keep the revenue coming in off this name? And then they can worry about other things. Then they can worry about maybe what the fan base might have been asking for. They'll worry about that after they implement all of the other monetization that they want to get in there. And that's what we have to look out for. And I don't think we're looking out for it. And they make the games enticing because, you can play with your friends. And a lot of people do want to play with their friends. And they have an element of PvP, which some people like. And a lot of the games have a big budgets. And so they're just going to draw people in by the sheer size of the community that they're drawing in. I mean, these are big games. And they cultivate huge followings years before the games even come out. I mean, look at all the hype around Anthem already. I mean, people are hyped for Anthem, and all we've seen is a little bit of gameplay, and say what you will about it, whether good or bad, but people are already hyped, and that's exactly what they want, because they want that recurring revenue model. And EA, we know, has been leading the charge, and Activision has been leading the charge, and they love this stuff. And we just keep buying in because they make attractive games. They know what buttons to push. They know how to make us want to consume the games. And it keeps happening, and we just keep letting them. And so we really just gotta get smarter as consumers, and this goes for me too. I can't count myself out. I am one of the worst offenders when it comes to stuff like this. I can't help myself a lot of times. I try, but it's hard. And we know that we can't expect the developers to stop making these type games. We know that they're just going to keep making them because there's too much cash involved for them to ignore. I mean, let's face it, there's too much cash involved because we keep giving it to them hand over fist, throwing money, throwing it right at the screen. $100 pack? Why not? Maybe I can get that skin I want. It'll be awesome when I get that skin that I want. $100 later. And we just keep doing it. And then they talk about gaming addiction. It's like, yeah, because the games are designed for it. We've seen all these companies talk about it separately. All the big companies in their shareholder meeting and whatnot, in different notes that we've seen, where they're talking about exactly what they're trying to do, and we know full well, and we don't care. We just keep throwing money at them. We're all hyped. We're hyped. Anthem's coming out. Hyped.
I was told to support this game, so I'm going to support this game, and anyone who doesn't like it is an idiot.
And that's the mentality right now. Like, if you're not hyped for it, oh, why are you hating on it? It's like, why are you hyped for it? Let's see what it does. We've seen these games fail time after time after time and not catch their audience. And then there's always a group of hardcores that stick with it. And some of these games do turn it around. Some of them do after a couple years. But most of them don't. And a lot of them fail. And how many games do we have to see where it's like, oh, well, they've shut down the servers. Oh, well, now they've gotten rid of the dedicated servers. Now it's just peer-to-peer. Oh, that game's gone entirely. Like, done. And it's been happening. And it just kind of, like, people talk about it for like a half a day and then just gets shuffled onto the carpet. That these games that they charged us $60 for and wanted all these expansion packs for just, a year, 2 years ago, or some of them are just gone. And we still just get hyped for these games. Like, what is wrong with us? We have to stop pre-ordering everything and getting the $100 edition of everything. Oh, but Coach Toolshed,
they gotta keep the servers on.
Yeah, I know. You honestly think that these guys are not turning a profit on these games when they're selling millions and millions and millions and millions of copies with microtransactions? They're not struggling to keep their servers on. Give it.
They gotta keep the servers on.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. They do. But they're making their money. It's obvious they're making their money. Listen to these people's financial reports. Come on, guys. All these big companies keep announcing bigger and bigger profits, bigger revenue streams every single year. And they get their investors investing because they know that they can recoup the money off us because we are being foolish. And we are giving them money to some of these games sight unseen. People are already pre-ordering games that don't even have release dates sometimes. What are we doing, guys? And they're making these games and they're already working on the second one before the first update's out the door for the next game. And we're already hyped. We're hyped. People are hyping up for the Division 2 already. And I can't blame them because they're on the treadmill. People who are hyped for Division 2, they're on the treadmill. They can't help themselves. And sure, if you want to talk about games addiction, of course there's people that are more susceptible to it than others. Of course there are. And of course there probably are people who are legitimately addicted. But for the mass consumer, it's the companies that are purposefully trying to get us hooked. They're using all the classic methods to keep these things ticking in our heads. Tick, 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 tick. Even the single player games, they talk about, oh, it's the loop, it's the loop. And when they talk about the loop, that is like, okay, we can go this far before giving them a little reward. Like we're hamsters on a wheel. That's what they're doing. That's what they mean with the loop. And I mean, it's part of the gameplay, of course. And you need a good loop in a game to make it fun. But they know exactly how to do it to make us keep playing. Oh, I'll just throw in another hour, just another hour, just another hour. And when it comes to these games as a service, that means just another dollar, just another dollar, just another dollar. And we have to start being more savvy when it comes to who we're giving our money to. Because it fails too often to ignore. And I'm guilty of it too, so I'm not just trying to say that it's everyone but me. I do the same thing. I get hooked on some of these games, and I keep giving these people money. So it's something that we all need to look at. Next time you're getting super hyped for a game and they're trying to sell you, the Super Deluxe Ultimate Platinum Tricentennial Edition, and you're like, oh, that's definitely worth the extra $30. Yeah, let me throw money down on that. Just stop and think and be like, okay, you're signing up basically to give these people, $100 or more. You're going to be they're trying to hook you on this game for the next year, 2 years, 3 years until they can just sell you the next $100 edition. And so it's not just the money involved. It's not just the hundreds and hundreds of dollars that they want you to spend on their game, on their product over the next 1, 2, 3 years until they release the next one. It's the hundreds of hours they want you to spend as they keep luring you back in for 100 hours here, 100 hours there. Come back for this. We got this event. Come check this out. Come back here. We got skins. We got skins. We got maps. We got skins. We got maps. More maps, weapons, skins. And it happens to all of us. Like I said, it happens to me. Just as bad, if not worse, than a lot of people, because I spend way too much money on a lot of these games. And maybe you're one of those people who wants to buy the collector's edition that has the statue, and that's only $150. Oh, and by the way, you got to buy the game and the DLC separately. But don't worry about it. It's games as a service, guys. They're servicing us. Don't you know? It's a service. How could we be so foolish as to turn down their games as a service? We would have to be pretty damn stupid, wouldn't we? I mean, service means, they're trying to help us. Clearly. So obviously what I'm trying to say is, let's just be smarter with what we do with our cash and who we put faith in to deliver us these games, especially these games as a service, because we gotta be smarter. We gotta realize what we're walking into when we throw down all that money and we spend all that time on these games. So, me included, let's all try to be a little bit smarter moving forward, and that's the only thing we can really do, because these games aren't going to stop coming. They're just not. So it's on us to take charge of what we can, and that is our wallets. I'm Coach Toolshed. Let's talk about this down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And there's a lot of different ways you can look at this situation. So let's talk about it. Let me know how you feel. And as always, keep it turned to 11. And just a quick side note about Fallout 76. This is just a quick news update. Just within the last hour or two, Bethesda has uploaded a new trailer showcasing the multiplayer aspects of Fallout 76. And once you know it, in the very first piece of gameplay that they chose to show in this multiplayer-specific trailer today, showed a guy just walking through the woods, and we've seen this footage before, just walking through the woods, and what happens? Oh, he just got blasted right away. Out of nowhere from a guy with a rocket. It almost looks as if he didn't have a choice to choose whether to opt into that combat. Oh, so surprising that that's the first thing you decide to show. So, please, once again, Todd and Pete, stop lying to us. Give us some concrete answers, please.